right, so today we're diving into something that I bet a lot of you are thinking about right now.
Oh, yeah.
Laminate flooring.
It's a popular one.
Super popular, tons of popularity.
Yeah.
And you sent in a ton of questions about it.
Yeah.
It was a really great article about it. So we're going to kind of go through that, unpack it, and see what's really worth knowing.
Yeah, should be fun.
I think this will be good for people who maybe have never even considered laminate flooring before.
Absolutely.
Or maybe they've always just kind of thought of it as, that fake wood stuff, and that's all it is.
Right?
But did you know that some laminate doesn't even try to look like wood anymore?
It's amazing what they can do with laminate these days. We're talking about high-resolution printing that really captures the fine details of wood grain or stone.
Wow.
And then combined with textured embossing that makes it feel like the real deal.
So you can actually feel the grain.
Yeah. It's pretty remarkable how realistic they can make it these days.
That's so cool. I admit, I used to think laminate was all about that. Like,
Fake wood look.
fake wood look. Yeah, like trying to be something it's not.
Right.
But it sounds like it's come a long way. So before we get into all the, pros and cons and like when you should choose it, when you shouldn't choose it.
Sure.
Can we just back up and talk about what laminate flooring actually is? Like, what are we even dealing with here?
Yeah, definitely. So imagine a high-performance running shoe.
Okay.
All those layers designed for support and cushioning and durability.
Yeah.
Laminate flooring is kind of similar in that it's engineered for both looks and performance.
I like that analogy.
It's got 4 main layers.
Okay.
The bottom layer is the backing, your basic foundation for stability and moisture resistance.
Okay.
Then you've got the core, which is typically made of high-density fiberboard.
Okay.
And that's what gives laminate its strength and structural integrity.
So the core is like the workhorse,
Yeah, you got it.
the real like meat of the whole thing.
Exactly.
Okay. So we've got backing and core. What's next?
Above the core is where the visual magic happens, the design layer. This is that high-resolution image of whatever material you're going for.
Okay.
Wood, stone, tile, you name it.
Got it.
And finally, on top is the wear layer,
Okay.
your shield against scratches, spills, and all the everyday wear and tear.
That makes sense. So it's that wear layer that really determines how well the floor is going to hold up over time.
Exactly. It's a specially formulated layer designed to resist scratches, dents, and even fading from UV light.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
We're talking about AC ratings that tell you exactly how much abuse a particular laminate can handle.
AC ratings.
Yeah, the higher the AC rating, the tougher the floor.
I've never even heard of AC ratings before.
Oh, really?
Can you give me like a quick rundown of what those mean?
Absolutely. So AC1 is the lowest rating suitable for like low traffic areas,
Okay.
like bedrooms.
Makes sense.
AC2 is a step up, good for most living areas.
Okay.
AC3 is even tougher, ideal for high traffic zones like hallways and kitchens.
Okay.
And then you've got AC4 and AC5, which are like the heavy-duty champions designed for commercial spaces and areas with extreme wear and tear.
So if you're picturing like a busy family home with kids and pets running around, you probably want to go with a higher AC rating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about matching the flooring to your lifestyle.
That makes total sense.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got the wear layer, we've got AC ratings, we're talking about durability.
Yeah.
Let's address the elephant in the room.
Ooh, okay.
Affordability.
Right.
Because the article you shared, it really highlights this.
Yeah.
And I think it's a major factor for a lot of homeowners.
For sure.
So how does laminate stack up against hardwood in terms of price?
Okay, so let's say you're looking to redo the flooring in your living room.
Okay.
Roughly about 300 square feet.
Yeah.
With solid hardwood, you could be looking at anywhere from $8 to $15 per square foot.
Wow.
Depending on the wood species and quality.
Right.
That means your total cost could range from $2,400 to $4,500 just for the material.
Oh my gosh.
Now, with laminate, you can find quality options for as low as $2 to $5 per square foot.
Okay.
So for the same 300 square feet, you're potentially looking at $600 to $1,500.
That's a huge difference.
It is.
I'm starting to see why laminate is so tempting,
Yeah,
especially if you're working with a limited budget.
for sure.
So affordable and durable.
Yep,
We're off to a good start.
we are.
What else is there to love about laminate flooring?
Well, speaking of budget-friendly, laminate is also a favorite among DIY enthusiasts.
Oh, really?
Because it's relatively easy to install.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of a floating floor?
That sounds familiar, but refresh my memory.
Yeah.
Is that like those puzzle piece mats that you get for kids' playrooms?
It's a similar concept.
Okay.
Laminate planks come with these ingenious click lock systems that allow them to snap together seamlessly.
So you don't have to nail them down or glue them?
Exactly. You don't need any glue or nails to secure them to the subfloor. Instead, the entire floor floats on top of a layer of underlayment.
Oh, that's why it's called a floating floor.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Which helps with sound absorption and moisture protection.
Okay, very cool.
Oh.
So someone with, decent DIY skills could potentially install laminate flooring themselves.
Absolutely. There are tons of tutorials and resources available online.
That's great.
And many homeowners find it to be a pretty manageable project.
Awesome.
Of course, if you're not comfortable with DIY, you can always hire a professional installer.
Right.
But the ease of installation is definitely another big point in favor of laminate.
All right. Adding that to the pro list.
Yep.
Easy installation, potentially saving even more money.
Exactly.
Okay, but let's talk about looks for a second.
Okay.
You mentioned how realistic laminate can be.
Yeah.
But is it just limited to wood looks? Can you get other styles?
Not at all. This is where it gets really fun.
Yeah.
The design layer can mimic pretty much any material you can imagine.
Really?
Yeah, you can find laminate that looks like weathered barnwood, sleek modern concrete, even elegant marble tile. And it's not just the visuals. The textured embossing I mentioned earlier adds another layer of realism. You can actually feel the grain of the wood or the subtle variations in the stone.
It's impressive how far laminate has come in terms of style.
It really is.
So it's not just about practicality. You can actually get some pretty sophisticated looks, too.
For sure.
But speaking of practicality,
okay,
what about moisture resistance?
Yeah.
We all know spills happen, especially if you have kids or pets.
Right.
How does laminate hold up in those situations?
That's an important consideration. Now, traditional laminate wasn't known for its water resistance.
Okay.
But many manufacturers have stepped up their game and now offer water-resistant or even waterproof options.
Oh, wow.
These types of laminate have special core materials and tighter locking systems that help prevent moisture from seeping in and causing damage.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it's a big improvement.
But are there, cleaning products or techniques that can actually damage laminate? What should we avoid?
You're right to be cautious about cleaning products. Harsh chemicals and abrasive cleaners are definitely a no-no for laminate floors.
Got it.
They can strip away the protective wear layer and dull the finish.
Okay.
Stick with gentle, pH-neutral cleaners specifically designed for laminate.
Makes sense.
And when it comes to mopping, avoid soaking the floor.
Okay.
Excess water can seep into the seams, even with water-resistant laminate, and potentially cause problems down the road.
Good to know. So even with the water-resistant options, a little bit of caution is still needed.
Yeah, it's always best to err on the side of caution.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground on the positive side of laminate flooring.
Yeah, we have.
But it's time to address the potential downsides.
Sure.
Is there anything we should be aware of before we get too excited about all these benefits?
Of course. Every flooring material has its limitations. One common concern with laminate is that it's not real wood. Some people simply prefer the authenticity, the unique character, the warmth and feel of genuine hardwood. And that's completely understandable.
Yeah, I get that. There's definitely a certain charm and value to real wood that's hard to replicate.
Right, it's a personal preference.
But for others, the trade-offs in terms of price, durability, and maintenance make laminate a more practical choice.
Absolutely.
It's all about weighing those priorities, right?
Exactly. It's about finding the right fit for your lifestyle and your budget.
Yeah.
Now, another issue that often comes up with laminate is noise.
Ah, yes.
You've probably heard that kind of hollow sound that some laminate floors can make when you walk on them.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Click-clack, click-clack.
Exactly.
Not exactly the cozy, inviting sound you want in your home.
Right. But thankfully, there's a way to avoid that or at least minimize it.
Okay, good.
The key is the underlayment.
Underlayment.
A good quality underlayment acts as a sound barrier between the laminate and the subfloor,
Okay.
absorbing those impact noises and creating a more solid, quieter feel underfoot.
So it's not just about cushioning the floor. It's also about soundproofing.
Precisely. And there are different types of underlayment to choose from, each with its own pros and cons.
Oh, interesting.
Foam underlayment is a popular choice. It's affordable and effective at reducing noise.
Okay.
Cork underlayment is another option, known for its natural sound dampening properties and eco-friendliness.
Oh, that's nice.
And then you've got specialized acoustic underlayment, which is designed to provide maximum sound reduction.
Wow, so many choices. It sounds like choosing the right underlayment is almost as important as choosing the laminate itself.
It really can be, especially if noise is a concern.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've talked about noise.
Mm-hmm.
What about, refinishing options?
Right.
Because unlike real hardwood, which can be sanded down and refinished multiple times,
Yeah,
laminate has limited refinishing options.
that's true.
So the article mentions that, so once that wear layer is worn out, that's pretty much it for the floor.
Unfortunately, yes. Once that wear layer is gone, you can't just sand it down and start over like you can with hardwood. The entire floor needs to be replaced. However, the good news is that with high-quality laminate and proper care, you can expect a lifespan of 15 to 20 years, even in high-traffic areas.
Okay, so it's not a forever floor,
Right.
but it's still a pretty good investment considering that lifespan.
Exactly.
But what happens if, say, you drop a heavy object and it dents the laminate? Is there any way to fix that kind of damage?
That's a great question. Minor scratches and scuffs can often be touched up with special repair kits. You can find these kits at most home improvement stores.
Okay,
They usually come with colored putty or markers that match the laminate's finish.
cool.
However, if you have a deep dent or gouge, it's much harder to repair seamlessly.
So prevention is key. Maybe invest in some felt pads for those furniture legs.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Speaking of potential issues, what about moisture sensitivity?
Right.
We talked about water-resistant and waterproof options, but I'm curious about the long-term effects of moisture on laminate. Can you elaborate on those a bit?
You're right to be concerned about moisture, especially if you're considering laminate for areas like kitchens or bathrooms. Even with water-resistant laminate, prolonged exposure to moisture can cause problems. The most common issues are swelling and warping.
Okay, I've heard those terms before, but I'm not entirely sure I understand what they mean. Can you break it down for us?
Of course. So, swelling is when the laminate absorbs water and expands, causing the planks to buckle and rise up.
Okay,
Imagine a sponge soaking up water and getting bigger.
right.
Warping, on the other hand, is when the laminate planks twist or bend out of shape due to uneven moisture absorption.
Got it.
It's like when a piece of wood warps in the sun.
Yeah,
Both swelling and warping can ruin the look and functionality of your floor.
that makes sense. So even with water-resistant laminate, it's important to take precautions like wiping up spills immediately and making sure the floor is properly sealed around the edges.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's worth noting that while water-resistant laminate can handle occasional spills and splashes, it's not designed for standing water. If you have a major leak or flood, even water-resistant laminate can be damaged.
So it's not a foolproof solution.
Right.
All right, we've discussed the layers, the advantages, the potential drawbacks.
Yeah, we've covered a lot.
But there's one more key factor that the article emphasizes that I want to dig into.
Okay.
Thickness.
Oh.
Why does thickness matter when it comes to laminate flooring?
Thickness is a crucial factor that affects several aspects of laminate flooring, including durability, sound absorption, and even how the floor feels underfoot.
Okay.
Generally, laminate flooring ranges from 6 millimeters to 12 millimeters thick.
So give us a rundown of those different thickness categories. What are the pros and cons of each?
At the lower end, you have 6 to 7 millimeters. This is your entry-level laminate, often the most budget-friendly option. It's suitable for low-traffic areas like bedrooms or guest rooms where you're not constantly walking back and forth. However, thinner laminate can feel a bit flimsy underfoot, and it doesn't offer as much sound insulation.
Got it. So if you're on a tight budget and it's for a less used space, 6 to 7 millimeters might be sufficient. What about the middle ground?
The most common thickness you'll find is 8 to 10 millimeters. This is considered the sweet spot for most residential applications. It offers a good balance of durability, sound absorption, and affordability, making it suitable for moderate traffic areas like living rooms, hallways, or even dining rooms.
That makes sense. It's like the Goldilocks of laminate thickness. Not too thin, not too thick, just right.
Exactly.
What about 12 millimeter laminate? Is that overkill for a typical home?
Well, 12 millimeters is the premium choice. It's the thickest, most durable option, and it provides the best sound absorption, giving you that solid, authentic feel underfoot. It's definitely a step up in terms of quality and performance.
So if you're picturing a high-traffic area, maybe a family room where kids are playing and things are constantly being dropped, 12 millimeters would be a good investment.
Absolutely. And if you're sensitive to noise or you want the most luxurious feel possible, 12 millimeters is worth considering.
Got it. Now, you've been doing this for a while, installing floors.
Yeah, for a good long time.
Do you have any, stories or anecdotes that come to mind?
Oh, let me think. Yeah, I have a story about a laminate installation I did a few years back. It was in a basement apartment, and the homeowner had opted for the thinnest laminate they could find to save money. Big mistake.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Well, the basement had concrete subfloors, and because the laminate was so thin, you could feel every little imperfection in the concrete.
Oh, no.
It was uncomfortable to walk on, and every footstep echoed throughout the apartment.
I can imagine.
They ended up having to rick out the entire floor and start over with a thicker laminate and a proper underlayment.
Ouch. That's a costly lesson learned.
It really highlighted the importance of choosing the right thickness and investing in a good underlayment.
For sure. So we've covered a lot of ground here. The layers, the pros, the cons, the importance of thickness.
Yeah.
But now comes the big question. Is laminate flooring right for you? I'm turning to our listeners now. What stands out to you from all this information? What are your priorities when it comes to flooring?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. There's no one-size-fits-all answer.
Right.
Laminate offers some amazing advantages,
Absolutely.
but it's not the perfect solution for everyone.
It's all about finding the right fit.
So if you're looking for a stylish, affordable, and relatively low-maintenance flooring option that can handle the hustle and bustle of daily life, laminate is definitely worth considering, especially if you have pets, children, or you're a DIY enthusiast.
I agree. And on the other hand, if you're someone who absolutely must have the authenticity and feel of real hardwood, or you need a truly waterproof solution for a very humid environment like a bathroom, then it's worth exploring other options.
What kinds of other options are we talking about here?
Well, there's engineered hardwood, luxury vinyl plank tile. There are a lot of great choices out there.
That's a good point. It's not just laminate versus the world.
Right. There's a whole spectrum of flooring materials to choose from.
Exactly. It's all about finding the best fit for your unique needs and preferences.
And thinking about the big picture, choosing flooring is a long-term investment.
Yes, it is.
You'll be living with it for years to come, so it's important to do your research and choose wisely.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Do your homework, folks.
So to all our listeners out there, we've given you the knowledge. Now it's time to apply it.
Go forth and floor.
Think about your lifestyle, your budget, and the overall feel you want to create in your home. Then step into the world of flooring options with confidence.
And remember, there's always more to learn. The world of flooring is constantly changing, so stay informed and make choices that work for you and your lifestyle.
And remember, the world of flooring is vast and always changing. Don't be afraid to explore different materials, compare samples, and ask questions.
That's great advice. Knowledge is power, especially when making home improvement decisions.
Speaking of knowledge, there's one final thought I want to leave you with. We've talked about practicality and aesthetics,
Yeah.
but what about the environmental impact of laminate flooring? How does it compare to real hardwood, which is a natural resource?
That's an excellent point. It's a complex issue. Laminate is made from composite materials, so it's not the most eco-friendly option.
Yeah, the manufacturing process often uses chemicals that aren't great for the environment.
Right.
But then again, some hardwoods come from endangered forests, so it's not always a clear-cut choice.
It's not simple. There's so many factors to consider, like the source of the wood, manufacturing practices, and even how long the flooring will last. A longer lifespan means you're replacing it less often, which can be better for the environment.
It's a whole other deep dive waiting to happen.
Exactly. We could talk about this for hours.
We've given you a lot to think about when it comes to laminate flooring.
We have. We've covered the layers, the pros and cons, the different thicknesses, installation tips. I think we've explored the world of laminate pretty thoroughly.
We have. So to all our listeners, stay curious, keep exploring, and tackle those home improvement projects with confidence.
And remember, there's always more to learn. The world of flooring is constantly changing, so stay informed and make choices that work for you and your lifestyle.
Until next time, happy flooring. We could do a whole other deep dive just on the environmental impact.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's so much to consider.
Definitely.
All right, well, we've given you a lot to think about when it comes to laminate flooring.
I think we've covered all the bases.
Yeah, we've talked about the layers and the pros and cons and, different thicknesses and installation tips and all that good stuff.
We really went deep.
We did a deep dive.
We did.
So to all of our listeners out there, stay curious, keep exploring, and tackle those home improvement projects with confidence.
And remember, there's always more to learn. The world of flooring is constantly changing, so stay informed and make choices that work for you and your lifestyle.
Until next time, happy flooring.